If you are sexually active and you know that you have an STD, then you need to inform people of that. Because when you don't, and you infect that person, you are changing their life forever, and they are making a decision that they do not know. Like, this shit is going to change the rest of my life. And there's nothing I can do. And I'm embarrassed. And I'm humiliated, and I feel so stupid. I feel so stupid for letting someone take advantage of me in a moment of weakness. But I did not consent to this. And I'm going to get justice for myself. Because there have been so many times in my life where I haven't. And this is not fair. And I refuse to let anybody else feel like this if I can help it.
Have y'all seen this? There's been 128% spike in syphilis numbers with women. You know how you protect yourself? By not having sex. Don't do it.
Are you shitting my dick?
Man, I don't know what to think no more, man.
Okay,
I don't know what to
de-escalate.
think
Nobody's
no
messing
more,
with your
man.
head.
Get out of me,
Nobody's messing with your head.
Get out of me,
Let's just
head.
I'm so happy! I'm so sad!
I have pulled the hottest people since getting herpes and since being single with it. 90% of people who have herpes have no symptoms. The medical community does not regard it as a big deal because it is not.
2 fun facts about me: I have herpes and I'm hot. Herpes hasn't changed my life in any significant way. It's changed nothing about my career. I still date, I still enjoy myself, and I promise you that so will you.
Please let me know how kids who contract oral herpes growing up by parents and relatives kissing them have made poor decisions. Please let me know how someone who was lied to and cheated on or assaulted made poor decisions. The only person making poor decisions here is you, placing judgment on things that you clearly have no understanding of.
I think that the stigma has come from a lack of knowledge. What we hear from our patients are things like, I have herpes, does that mean I'm promiscuous? Does that mean I'm dirty? And the answer is no. None of those things are true about you. There's a myth that herpes is uncommon or rare. And that's not true. Over half of all people worldwide have a diagnosis of either herpes 1 or 2. There's also a myth out there that if you aren't sexually active, you can't catch herpes. And that's actually not true. Herpes 1 and 2 can cause cold sores, which is the same thing as just saying a herpes outbreak near the corner of your mouth. And those are contagious. But from a medical standpoint, I would consider herpes to be more of an inconvenience or a nuisance than a really big deal.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, or fuck around and find out. If you needed any more reason to go MGTOW, STDs like herpes, which is the gift that keeps on giving, is forever. You can survive a divorce, being cheated on, and a false accusation, but you can't get rid of AIDS and herpes. One of the reasons why STDs still exist is because people like the feminist doctor who downplays STDs by claiming it's not a big deal. There's a reason why in the old days the town slut was ostracized and not accepted in general society, because she was like a rat that spread diseases. STDs are around today because of prostitutes and sluts, as most people who had sex back in the day were married couples. What do the commenters say? A guy comments, LOL, fuck no. It's only modern women who need justification to be hoes who will buy this bullshit. Someone responds to him, there is no cure for herpes. You can reduce your flare-ups, but you'll always have herpes. That's why it's a big deal. Another comment. So people can give your kids herpes just by kissing them? Yup, that's why you keep the feminists away from your kids. They're STD petri dishes. Another comment, many students who came to study in the USA returned to Europe with sexually transmitted diseases. That's hilarious. Add another reason why no one else from other countries come to America to marry American women besides the green card scammers.
I want to talk about the shame and stigma around STIs for a minute, because sometimes I feel like the shame and stigma is worse than the actual STI itself. If you are somebody who lives with HPV, herpes, HIV, or any of the other STIs for that matter, I just want to let you know that you are not alone. So many people live with STIs. They are so common. Very, very common. It's just that we were brought up not to talk about it, and people fear what they don't know, which is the root cause of the stigma, as well as religion and old patriarchal mindsets and the lack of sexual health education. That's where the root of the sexual shame and stigma lies. And I just want to let you know that if you do live with an STI, you're not alone.
The shame and stigma isn't enough because bitches are still doing fuckfests. It should be 10 times worse, like the old days, where they drop off people who had leprosy on islands to fend for themselves. Something like this should happen to these STD thoughts. And she literally writes, STI shame and stigma is worse than the actual STI. Why are these so-called strong and independent women are bothered by people's comments on the internet? They're the first ones to shame a man for his lack of height, yet apparently a troll ruins their whole day. Also, bad comments are temporary. Incurable STDs are for life. Thought commenter said, gotta stop the stigma and educate. Keep up the good work. I'm 16 years HSV+. It's always society who has to censor itself, making raging feminists feel better about the bad choices they've made with their life. Another chick commented, sucks when the person doesn't tell you they have it. Should have not screwed till marriage because during the courtship, an STD test or the lack of one would have given her the answer she needed to choose the right husband. The post wall in the video responded, yes, disclosing is important. We, people who live with herpes, all wish that we were given the choice. See how she twists logic around to fit her agenda as if she has no accountability in the matter? People do have a choice to get STDs or not. It's called keeping their legs closed, and that's the safest way of not getting it.
It's a mistake you learned the hard way that you can now help people to avoid.
I learned the hard way that cold sores are herpes, not just any type of herpes, but the same type of herpes that you can get below the belt. I was in a long-term monogamous relationship for around 2 years, from 17 to 19 years old, and he was a virgin when I met him because we were so young. We were both really smart kids. We were in AP classes, we did all our homework, we listened in school, but nowhere along the public school system did anyone teach us that cold sores were herpes, or that cold sores were the same type of herpes that you can get below the belt genitally. He got cold sores from his mom because, you kiss your mom in the mouth at any point and she has cold sores, you can get cold sores. We did what, two consenting people do, where we had sex orally, and I ended up getting genital herpes. Genital herpes is a devastating diagnosis to get at 19 years old, especially from someone that you've been with so long and you didn't think it was possible to get. So now I dedicate my free time in educating the public on how to cope with having herpes and how to avoid getting it.
If she's telling the truth, sadly, she found out the hard way why modern women should not have kids. Her boyfriend's mom ruined his and her life forever. Why didn't she and her boyfriend sue his mom for giving them the STD? That's an easily winnable case for negligence. You know for sure these thoughts with STDs will want to have kids someday. They're entitled, they don't want to be accountable for their own actions. Let's see the comments. I got Lyme disease from a tick and now I have herpes too. Did she just blame getting herpes from a tick? Or is she collecting diseases? Is she literally trying to say the same tick sucked the blood out of someone who had herpes then bit her? A 1 in a billion type scenario. She probably has a better chance of getting rabies from a tick than a human STD. Another comment. Are the cold sores contagious when you don't actively have one? Like sharing drinks with a friend when it's not active? A response to that question? Yes, technically you can still pass it because your skin sheds, but it's a very low chance. Not sure this is true, just stay away from the STD collectors, also known as the feminists. A post wall commented, "I think someone has it by now." Someone responded, "You too, not me." This is what a lot of modern women claim to make themselves less gross or try to normalize their degeneracy. I'm not getting outbreaks, my friends aren't, just hoes, prostitutes, and chads. She's conflating warts on her cunt with men not getting tested. Pretty sure men would know they have genital herpes if all of a sudden their dick was on fire. Men in the comments section was having none of it. Top commenter says, "Nah, I won't even eat a bruised fruit." That's funny. Why settle for the rotten fruit when there's billions of fresh fruit off of the vine? Another dude commented, "Still, you got it." And a thought responded, "You realize people can get it at birth, right?" People always bring up the most improbable scenario to defend their behavior as if the majority of them aren't screwing busloads of men, but innocently got it from their mother. The only thing they got from their single mother was the hoe gene. Another man states, "That's their preference. No need to judge them." Someone responded to the comment, "I'd gladly reject someone with that and happily be judge on it." Men, don't lower your standards, morals, or self-preservation just because some STD thought got her feelings hurt when you outright tell her no. If you think getting laid is hard now, wait till you get an incurable STD. Then you'll have no choice but to deal with hoes.
Also too, I feel like, this is on a different subject, but I feel like since she brought it up, let's talk about it. I feel like the conversation around herpes needs to be normalized more, because I feel like a lot of people out there are suffering trying to enter into new relationships because it feels like a really challenging thing to approach and talk about. Now, I was raped when I was 20 years old, and he gave me herpes when it happened, and it wrecked about the next 7 years of my life. It made it really impossible for me. I think I just really struggled with like my value and who I was and what I felt like I had a defect. I felt like something was wrong with me. And it took me a very long time to discover that there really was nothing wrong with me, and it was completely out of my control. And now, being well into my 30s, I'm like, if you don't accept me for who I am, like, I could give a fuck. But let's just be clear, 1 out of 6 people have her.
Was she really violated, or is this what she tells everyone so she feels less shameful about it? Modern women today now will claim that they were violated if they regret having sex or if they thought the man was untruthful. Women will put on an Oscar award-winning performance if they think it'll benefit their chance of getting a commitment or any other relationship benefits. That being said, she was very casual about what should have been the darkest part of her life. And just remember, if 2 people are equally drunk, same blood alcohol level, both have lust for each other, the man will always be blamed for taking advantage of her, even if his blood levels were twice as high and she had to help him stumble into her apartment. She also in the video did what most women do now, call rejection or calling a spade, bullying. One of the top comments says, "I don't understand why anyone's medical health that isn't in a relationship with you is their business. Stay strong." Medical health is usually private, but women like the one in the video share that she has an STD to the internet for clout, then complains when other people bring it up. That's the price to pay with fame. People always think about fame for its benefits, but fail to realize that the downside is that they're going to be under a microscope and people are going to voice their opinions about them. Someone commented, "At the same time, my daughter of 5 and 3 both caught herpes at preschool, so which means they touched a surface that was touched by someone who has herpes." That's BS, because according to a simple Google search, I quote, "You will not get herpes from toilet seats, bedding, or swimming pools. You also will not get it from touching objects such as silverware, soap, or towels." This female might have ruined both of her daughters' lives because she hoed around. Another STD thought commented, "My aunt gave me cold sores when I was 6 years old. She was careless and kissed me while she had an active cold sore. I've only had 2 in my life, but..." And she continued, "When I got the second one at 28, I felt worthless and dirty. Disgusting. Even though it wasn't my fault, I hid from people for 2 weeks till it was gone." No telling how many people she exposed her original herpes to. especially since she claimed she hid from everyone when she got the second one till the cold sore was gone. Wouldn't she want people to know so they don't accidentally get it like she claimed she did the first time?
I'm just about to get right into it. I always say that you don't feel like this for you, then hey, go to God about it. But I know that this is a word that God has given me that I have sat on for about 3 days. So, the other day I was on my knees and I literally just heard STD. It was so weird. Like, I literally just heard STD. And I'm like, God, you talking about me having STD for real? And he was like, STD. He just kept saying STD. So I'm like, what the heck? Like, okay, guys. So you're going to have to really get into detail with me because now I'm having fear. He said, aha, you do got STD. I said, how I got STD? And so he said, you got a spiritual transmitted disease. Fear is an STD. Fear is a disease. Fear is a disease. Anxiety is a disease. Lust is a disease. Masturbation is a disease. Lack is a disease. Laziness is a disease. All of these things are diseases. And I'm like, okay, God, but you only could get an STD if you let somebody enter you. He said, yes, yes, yes. You getting me now, Jasmine. You've allowed a lot of people into your life. You've allowed a lot of people that were contaminated and gave you the contamination of what they had. So now you're trying to wonder why I felt that. Now you're trying to wonder why you can't pray as much. You can't even get on a fast for 24 hours. You're trying to wonder why you can't even get in your word. Who have you been surrounding yourself with? Or what have you been connected to that is allowing you to keep you away from me?
Maybe God gave her an STD to tell her to stop fucking the whole block. And speaking about being on her knees, when God told her STD, it's because she was on her knees doing you know what. Spoiler alert, if you sleep around, you're not a Christian. Christians are supposed to stay a virgin till marriage, and this is one of the good reasons why, to not get STDs. Is she trying to say pray an STD away like pray the gay away? Bitch gets an STD and all of a sudden, she should preach the gospel. When men say they want a godly woman, they mean they want a quiet, reserved lady who wears a scarf on their head, not some loudmouth wannabe preacher. And of course, thoughts are all in the comments claiming to be touched by God by this chick's sermon. Girl, you scared me, but preach on. My God, I heard spiritual tied demons, STD, this morning. Is that what these Bible hoes are calling STDs now? I swear I just prayed and asked God to hide me. Something isn't right and I don't want to be around nothing that will distract me from God. This is the same type of thought who will go to the club to shake her ass but mentions God in every other sentence. This was definitely for me. I've been plagued. The so-called Christian caught an STD? My God. These modern women will hide behind anything to justify or cover up their dirty deeds.
HIV-related response. Why don't you date someone with HIV? Well, I don't need to. Because we do have such a thing called U equals U, which means I or anyone else who is positive cannot physically pass the virus on to anyone if they are taking their medication as instructed, which I do because I have a strong sense of preserving my life for me. And yes, so anyone else who is positive and on medication cannot pass the virus on. The people who should be worried are the ones who do not know their status, don't use condoms, and don't get tested regularly.
The women who are on crusade to end the STD stigma are the same ones who refuse to date other people with their incurable STD. You can't make this shit up, as Kevin Samuels used to say. By the way, who wants to take one for the team and be the guinea pig to see if Big Pharma isn't lying about their drug that supposedly stops one of the worst STDs out there? This is the one STD that can kill you. Yes, there are new drugs that allow people to live with HIV, but what if they run out of money or they can't get access to the drugs anymore? At least with herpes, you'll get painful cold sores, but with AIDS, without meds, you'll die a slow, painful death. What do the comments say? Top commenter asks, what about the ones who are HIV and are spreading it? That scares me, that part terrifies me. Someone responds, then I suggest you approach them and tell them they will be arrested and jailed for life if they do that. Not in California. The most gynocentric state in the United States have lowered the penalty of knowingly spreading AIDS from a felony to a misdemeanor. Someone with common sense says what we're all thinking. If anybody believes that, they are insane. Why would anyone compromise their health? Exactly. That's like playing Russian roulette because someone advocated you won't get shot because only one of the chambers has a bullet in it. A thought responded, "You're not really smart, are you?" She is smart. Better to be safe than sorry. There. You've thought you've heard it all till a modern woman opens her mouth. The moral of the story is, women should keep their legs closed and stay a virgin till marriage because no amount of sex education can stop getting an STD. And men, add this to your list of why it's better off to go MGTOW. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.